Good morning and welcome to the Proton Motor Power Systems PLC Annual General Meeting. Throughout this recorded meeting, attendees will be in listen-only mode. I'd now like to hand you over to the board from Proton Motor Power Systems PLC. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to all shareholders and others who are attending the 2024 Annual General Meeting for Proton Motor Power Systems PLC. My name is Ali Naini. I've been the non-exec chair of Proton for about a month, although I've known and followed the company for many years. For the first time, we are offering a hybrid AGM to give all shareholders and others who wish to attend the opportunity to do so via this Investors Meet company portal. But the meeting is physically being held at Proton's German plant at Puckheim, close to Munich. I understand that we have the required minimum number of shareholders physically attending the meeting in Puckheim to be quorate, and that invitations were sent to all shareholders on 3rd of June, complying with the minimum 21-day notice required. All voting has taken place via proxy, so there will be no need to vote today, but the company secretary will announce the results of the voting during the meeting. The annual financial report is being sent to all shareholders today, I believe, and is also available on the Proton Motor Power Systems PLC website. Shareholders were able to send in their questions relating to the AGM. We have received various questions and we will address them during the meeting. Any other questions that come, if we can't answer them during the meeting, we will certainly follow up, and all answers will be published on the website after the AGM. As usual, we've invited the following guests: Rebecca Ferguson, partner at our lawyers Womble Bond Dickinson; Maxine Pott, engagement partner at our auditor Sumer Audit Co. Limited; James Reeve from our Nomad LMB Capital; Mark Antelm from our PR agency Sellicourt Communications. We thank them for their support. I will now hand over to the company secretary, who will go through the resolutions and announce the results of the proxy voting. Roman.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My name is Roman Koprzyjewski. I'm an English chartered accountant. I have the honor of being the company secretary for the Proton Group, and as I'm an accountant, I'm the CFO. And I'm sitting next to Marion Reiber, who is our financial accountant, but more importantly for this occasion, she is also a shareholder, so that I can confirm what our chairman has already announced, that we do have two shareholders physically present in the meeting. Right. As our chairman has also announced, I will now go through the resolutions and just announce the results of the proxy voting, which is taking place. We have 11 resolutions, but effectively only 9 resolutions have been voted on. I will explain why once we come to the first resolution. And without further ado, I will start, if I can handle the technical challenge of pressing on an arrow. So, results of proxy voting. Okay, I'm hoping you can see all of the slide. This is resolution 1, to receive and adopt the company's accounts for the financial year ended 31 December 2023, together with the director's report and the auditor's report, together named the 2023 report and accounts. As our chairman has already mentioned, this report has been released today. Therefore, the shareholders have had not time to peruse it. And with that background, we are going to hold an extraordinary general meeting, an EGM, in July, so that we can vote on the resolution to receive and adopt the company's accounts. Okay, so I'll move on to resolution 2, and this is very similar. So resolution 2 is to approve the director's remuneration report, which is contained within the 2023 report and accounts. Again, of course, as shareholders have not yet had the opportunity of being able to review the report, then also this resolution will be deferred until the meeting in July. Once this meeting is finished, then I will be arranging for the invitation to the EGM accordingly. Okay. Now it's getting exciting because we're moving now to a resolution which has been voted on. So the next few resolutions are concerning the directorship, and in our Articles of Association, each director will retire each year, and if the shareholders so wish, will be then voted in. So, Resolution 3, to re-elect our chairman and non-executive director, Ali Naini, who is retired in accordance with the company's Articles of Association as a director of the company. Right. In the table below, it is showing you the results of the proxy voting. I will go to the figure. So the maximum votes which may be cast is 1,661,751,046 shares. That's 100%. And then, of course, we have the for, against, and abstentions. So in this case, total votes for are 1,238,181,089, against 183,463, abstentions 123,411. Expressed as percentages, so for the resolution 74.5%, and the other two categories are then obviously below 0.09%. And from now on, I will just announce the percentages each time, and we're going to see that it's in fact always the same. So with a voting cast for 74.5%, then the resolution is passed that our chairman, Mr. Ali Naini, has been re-elected as director of the company. Okay, so it's going to become very repetitive for the next 4 resolutions, because now we're going to do exactly the same thing for our COO, Mr. Sebastian Goldner. So resolution 4 is to re-elect Sebastian Goldner, who retires in accordance with the company's Articles of Association as a director of the company. And again, from now on, I will just be reciting the percentages. In this case, also 74.5% have voted for, and basically 0.0% against and abstentions. So again, as with the previous vote, then with 74.5% being cast for the resolution number 4, then it has been passed to re-elect Sebastian Goldner as a director of the company. Move on to the next director. This is myself. Resolution 5, to re-elect Roman Kotlajewski, who retires in accordance with the company's Articles of Association as a director of the company. Also here, 74.5% of the votes have been cast in favor, and therefore Resolution 5 has been passed to re-elect Roman Kotlajewski as a director. Now we come to Mr. Manfred Limbrunner, our Director of Investor Relations and Communication, who afterwards will be conducting the Q&A session. So again, Resolution 6, to re-elect Manfred Limbrunner, who retires in accordance with the company's Articles of Association as the director of the company. Here also, 74.5% of the votes have been cast for the resolution. So the resolution has been passed to re-elect Manfred Limbrunner as director. And now we have the last director. So Resolution 7, to re-elect Antonio Bossi, who is non-executive director, who retires in accordance with the company's Articles of Association as a director of the company. Also here, 74.5% of the total potential vote has been cast for Resolution 7, so that it has been passed that Antonio Bossi has been re-elected as director of the company. Then we move on to Resolution 8. Okay, we've moved away from the directors now, and we are now moving to the auditor. So Resolution 8 is to reappoint Summa Audit Co. Limited as the auditors of the company, to hold office until the conclusion of the next annual general meeting of the company, at which accounts are laid before the company. Also here, 74.5% have voted for the Resolution 8. Therefore, Summa Audit Co. Limited have been reappointed as auditors of the company until the conclusion of the next general meeting. Resolution 9, to authorize the directors of the company, the directors, to agree the remuneration of the auditors of the company. 74.5% of the votes have been cast for the resolution, therefore authorizing the directors of the company to agree the remuneration of the auditors. And we move on to the last two resolutions. So we're starting with resolution 10. These resolutions we have every year. I'll read out the text. That the directors be generally and unconditionally authorized for the purpose of Section 551 of the Companies Act 2006 to exercise all the powers of the company to allot or grant rights to subscribe for or to convert any security into shares in the company up to an aggregate nominal amount of £2,769,585. This is basically just giving the company the authorization from the shareholders to have the flexibility to be able to issue shares within Section 551 of the Companies Act 2006. There are, just so that you have the complete resolution, provided that, I'll just move on to the next one, 10.1, except as provided in paragraph 10.2, which is coming, this authority shall expire on the date of the next annual general meeting of the company, or, if earlier, 15 months after the passing of this resolution. And the second precondition, 10.2, the company may therefore, before such expiry, make an offer or agreement which would or might require shares or equity securities, as the case may be, to be allotted, or such rights granted after such expiry, and the directors may allot shares or equity securities or grant such rights, as the case may be, in pursuance of such offer or agreement, notwithstanding that the authority conferred by this resolution is expired. Okay. It's a little bit difficult to follow that sometimes, but as I say, it's basically giving the company the authority to have the flexibility to be issuing shares when necessary within Section 551 of the Companies Act 2006. Here, when we're looking at the votes cast, 74.5% have voted for the resolution, and therewith Resolution 10 has been passed. And we come now to the final resolution, which we voted on. Again, we always have this every year. Special Resolution 11. Again, I'm going to read some rather legal-sounding text. So, Special Resolution 11, that, subject to the passing of Resolution 10 above, and we have just seen that Resolution 10 has been passed, the directors be empowered, pursuant to Section 570 of the Companies Act 2006, the Act, to allot for cash, equity, securities within the meaning of Section 560 of the Act, as if Section 561 of the Act did not apply to any such allotment, provided that this power shall be limited to the allotment of equity securities up to an aggregate nominal value of £830,875, and shall expire on the conclusion of the next annual general meeting of the company, or, if earlier, 15 months after the passing of this resolution. But the company may, before such expiry, make an offer or agreement which would or might require equity securities to be allotted after such expiry, and the directors may allot equity securities pursuant to such an offer or agreement, notwithstanding that the power conferred by this resolution has expired. Okay, effectively, again, this resolution, it's always a special resolution. We have it every year. It is basically to give the authority to issue shares which are not subject to the normal preemption rules, which are contained in those various sections of the Companies Act. Again, here, for the special resolution number 11, 74.5% of the votes have been cast for the resolution. Therewith, special resolution has also been passed by the votes of the shareholders. And that brings me then to the end of my part in the official announcement of the proxy voting. Thank you for your attention. And I have the pleasure of passing over the floor to Mr. Manfred Limbronner, our Director of Investor Relations and Communications, who will be addressing the questions which have been addressed by the shareholders for this meeting. So many thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Roman, for handing over to me. So we have received prior to this AGM 10 of these 10 questions. Some are in German and some are in English. So I will, of course, go through them all in English. And the first question what we have received is, what will you do about the shareholder price? When will we see a new investor? But first of all, let me tell you that, of course, we share your frustration with regards to the current share price. However, we are encouraged to see repeat orders coming in from long-standing customers. For example, the recently announced new orders like from Deutsche Bahnbaugruppe, H2 Tech, GKN Hydrogen, H2 Power Cell, or Umstro. I expect the further momentum will have a positive effect on the share price, and we are focused on delivering our commercialization strategy as outlined to the market. And in parallel, we are actively engaging with shareholders and ensuring awareness of Proton Motor, its offerings and achievements. With regards to securing strategic partners and investors, which started in September 2023, this is an ongoing process, but we are unable to give a definitive timeline to this. Second question was, some of the competitors have made gains in recent months, especially SFC Energy. What is PM doing to achieve similar positive growth effects in the short and medium term and reverse the downward trend? Well, we cannot comment on what other companies in the sector are doing, but as mentioned, we are encouraged by the recent orders and remain very focused on the delivery. Now let's jump to the third question, which was the 5 members of the German Council of Economic Experts recently spoke out against hydrogen and in favor of battery electric mobility for trucks, or denied the economic viability of hydrogen and fuel cells. Only Veronika Grimm opposes this. Statements like this cause the hydrogen world to falter and investors are jumping ship. Criticism justified. What dangers lie in it? What is PM doing to address this? Well, at Proton Motor, we are actively engaging in the political process on Bavarian, German, and also European levels to create political awareness of the need for hydrogen technologies to complement pure electric technologies. For this, we have published 3 position papers, and we were very engaged in writing and signing open letters addressed to high political stakeholders. Position papers and letters that we have been engaged can be also shared by link and have been already spread and publicized. And it is widely acknowledged by the end customers we talk to and big industrial players and technology providers that the energy transition can't be made only with pure electricity, and the infrastructure costs for a pure electric solution are too high compared to a combination of electricity and hydrogen. The current megatrend is how to store and transport vast amounts of renewable energy, and the only solution is hydrogen, and fuel cells are the most efficient and only emission-free way of consuming renewable hydrogen. Fourth question, how does Proton Motor support infrastructure expansion in Germany and European Union? Well, we are partnering with infrastructure operators, end customers, end user customers, and also other hydrogen technology providers to create more political awareness. We have, like I recently mentioned, published several position papers and political letters to outline the changes which we believe are need to be integrated. And our message what we always give to political stakeholders are that decentralized local hydrogen markets are ready and needs to be supported for market entry now to allow hydrogen technology providers like us to penetrate the market. There is no need to wait for hydrogen pipelines and big import of hydrogen. Decentralization will also overcome the bankability and financing problems of these very big centralized hydrogen projects. But of course, pipeline and centralized hydrogen productions are important and must be prepared as well. But as this will take a long time, also acknowledged by utilities we talk to, the energy and industrial transition cannot wait for this. Fifth question, what does the planned PM sales growth look like until 2030? Well, currently we have not published these forecasts, but it is clear that hydrogen as an alternative clean energy source for the future is increasing to a considerable extent, and that demand for associated technologies, including fuel cells, will also increase substantially. Then the sixth question, when does production start at the new location and how far are we? Well, the construction work for the hydrogen infrastructure will begin as soon as we have been granted the approval for the hydrogen infrastructure at our new facility. And the construction work will begin as soon as all these required approvals are granted. And we are now waiting only for one outstanding approval, which we expect to receive before the end of July this year. And then we immediately will start with the construction work, which we expect to be finished at the end of the first half of the year 2025. Seventh question, do you still have order backlog from the order for 10 containerized fuel cell solutions from March 2020 from Apex Energy? If so, what is the open order backlog? Well, Apex Energy has been one of our many clients, so I'm not keen to talk too much about any individual relationships, as I think that tends not to reflect the overall picture well, given many of our clients, having been through extended testing periods, are now increasingly seeking wider engagement and repeating orders. One system was, though, delivered as planned under agreement with Apex, but additional systems were not delivered due to the company not being in a position to take delivery at that time. The eighth question, does the merger of Yamaha Motor with Torqeedo have an impact on the cooperation with PROTON Motor? Well, this is a question that I can answer quite fast, as we do not believe so. The ninth question was, PROTON Motor is increasingly talking about expansion in relation to the move to Fürstenfeldbruck. In order to reflect a successful expansion in the share price, the number of shares in free float would have to increase sooner or later. Not asking about details, but are there any discussions between PROTON Motor and other companies about a potential investment in PM? Well, this we have already answered a little bit earlier, and the process of securing strategic partners and investors started in September 2023. But of course, it is an ongoing process, and we are currently not able to give a definitive timeline. And the last and 10th question we received is, can you please shed some light on the collaborations with Fincantieri, Aquaocean, Electro-Commercial Vehicles, and Linsinger Maschinenbau? Well, all of these are successfully complete orders with leading brands, and we continue to leverage these relationships and others as well to secure new orders. We also offer these clients and all other clients continued support in the maintenance of our fuel cells. So this was the last answer to all of these questions. So then I will hand over to Ali, our chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manfred. I think all that's left is to close the AGM by thanking all the shareholders and everyone else attending today for their support and interest in Proton and the world of hydrogen fuel cells. I believe we have an exciting year ahead of us because of all the activities that Manfred has referred to already. I think this now concludes the AGM. If there are no other issues, thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I please ask attendees not to close this session, as you'll now be automatically redirected to provide your feedback in order that the management team can better understand your views and expectations. This will only take a few moments to complete, and I'm sure will be greatly valued by the company. On behalf of the board of Proton Motor Power Systems PLC, we'd like to thank you for attending today's annual general meeting. Good morning to you all.